I want you to consider meditating on the feet.
One you've already experienced, or one you might encounter in the future. This could be related to a marathon, an important sporting event, a public speaking, a job presentation,
Especially something that will stress you in a way that excuses will start popping from everywhere. For me, it was a 2 kilometer butterfly swim that I attempted last week. The weather was cold and there was some fog, and just with some tiny distraction, I easily tapped out and got out of the water. Now, I have tried before visualizing success and only thinking about success, but once you get into the water, things become a little bit shocking. That's why this time I don't want to be naively going to this challenge. I'm going to attempt a swim in 2 days, but I've also came up with a list of excuses that might pop in my head while swimming, and I'm going to share them with you.
and by doing that, I trust that
Depending on your endeavor, this will help you brainstorm some excuses. First one, somebody will steal my clothes. And I know this might sound silly, but when you're swimming, exhausted, and you want some excuses, anything can be that. You want to come up with as much excuses as possible. And so for this one, I might think that I must bring up with me cheap clothes when attempting my swim. The second one is a shark is waiting, spotting me. Now, you might rationalize whatever you want on this one, but I think that whether or not there might be a shark while I'm swimming, the only thing that could help me fight this excuse is my faith and the trust in my intuition. Because I don't know if you believe in this or not, sometimes when you're ultra focused, you can react to this type of stuff seconds before it happens. And it also depends on whether or not I want to be meeting a shark. Crazy, but either way. The third one is the water is cold, and this one is the one that's mostly creating problems for me. Maybe one thing that I can consider doing is swimming in the extremities of my open water swim. And in case I get tired, I only have 50 meters or 100 meters to swim in order to exit my swim. That's one thing I can do. But that's the issue really. The cold water, it impacts your cognitive rational brain and you start panicking. I'm going to research the dangers of cold water. Maybe there's some dangers sinking on a cold, very cold water, ice bath or something like that. Hypothermia might get you if you're too far away from the shores, but if you're 50 seconds or 30 seconds from shores, you can always tap out.
so swimming safely, getting medical knowledge about cold exposure, as well as switching swimming styles when it gets too cold, is how I could deal with this one.
Another thing is getting a cramp while swimming. Now that's something that could happen. And I'm going to decide from now that even if I get a cramp, I will just not use that muscle, simply ignore it, and continue swimming with what I have left. Now the fifth one, I'm slow. While I'm swimming, I might sneak into the clock and look at my timing and realize that I'm not swimming that fast and that it's not a competitive time. Another one that I came up with is the sixth one, which says being distracted by people. Suppose I'm swimming and somebody comments on the way I'm swimming, like the last time. Somebody wanted to share with me the way or the correct way to swim, not knowing that I'm actually swimming efficiently and not in a way that's designed to swim fast. What I'm going to do then is ignore everyone that's going to call me or try to distract me from my swim.
Because here's the thing about excuses, it's that they combine with other excuses you have That's why,
even if it's somebody who's pointing at a shark, pay attention, man. No, I'm not going to pay attention to that. And when I set my mindset that way, I won't be distracted. And since I have my swim in 2 days, I'm going to come up with other ideas. And the important thing is that tomorrow I'm going to visualize each one of these and think about them extensively, considering every possible excuse that might come up in my head,
not leaving room to any other excuse to pop in my head during my performance day. And then visualize myself reacting to each one of them. And if you find it difficult coming up with excuses or knowing what they might feel like, you need more practice and more failures. Either way, take your time addressing each excuse, rationalize what your optimal reaction might be, and then visualize it.
But this is the key point. After you've visualized every negative scenario, the moment you start performing the day of your event, you only think positively. You forget about every negative excuse you came up with. When they arise in your reality, you will know how to react to them because you came up with solutions. But you don't need to think about that. And actually, you don't even need to come up with other excuses because you supposedly came up with everything before in your meditation about defeat. And so now you only think about reaching the end line. You can even visualize that while performing, and that would greatly help you. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you actually liked this video and would like to watch more like these, make sure you subscribe and like this video. I'm going to post in the future things related to the physical, mental, and also spiritual.
Possibly even expand on this video idea, that is, meditating on the feet.